18th of Safaricom Sevens rugby tournament at the Moi International Sports Centre in Kasarani. Next game coming up, Australia Renegades versus Western Bulls. This will be the third main cup quarter-final game. We have already had 2 games played in the main cup quarters category, with Shuja outstanding victors over CBS Samurai 40 points to 0. Kenya Harlequins and Lucky there against Western Province going down 7 points to 14. In the third match, Australia Renegades play against Western Bulls, who have defied all predictions to make it into the main cup quarter-final. Welcoming my colleague who will be with me to take you through the remaining matches of the main cup quarters and indeed the other events is our able journalist from the Star newspaper in Nairobi, William Juguna. Welcome, William.
Thank you very much, Hilary. Very good morning to you all. This is the final day of the Safaricom Sevens. We've already had 2 quarter-final games being played. Kenya Shujaa through to the semi-finals after beating CBS Samurai by 40 points to 0. And just as you may have been watching a few minutes ago, Kenya Harlequins losing narrowly there to Western Province by 14 points to 7. This is it. This is the final day of the event where we will know who will be crowned champions. And right now, the Renegades facing off with one of Kenya's fastest rising sides, the Western Bulls, in the third quarter final.
Set to kick us off in the yellow strip is the Australia Renegades, and they kick into Western Bulls, who will be playing in the blue strip. Scurried ball, looks like a dog's dinner down there. Western Bulls managed to pick up the ball, barely just. Seems like the entire team is in there, or they lose it again. Some very, very physical approach in the early stages of this particular match. Collins Kimani gets the ball out. We did see Western Bulls with some very interesting fast runners out in the wing, having won actually all the games.
Yes, Western Bulls were quite impressive, and one of the surprise teams to be in the quarters. I didn't expect them to be here, but they've shown their pedigree and talent and very hard running and physical play to be in the quarterfinals. I mean, they deserve to be in the quarters, and will pose a very serious threat, we hope, to the Australian Renegade side in this game so far. Just barely had a minute to this game. And Rodney Iona there trying to make a move, and the Australians are off to start, but Bill Meeks loses the ball there in contact with the try line. Just they're smelling the try line there, but he seems to have spilled the ball in contact, and it will be a scrum down to the Western Bulls following that knock-on.
I don't think Collins Kimani will be very happy with that in there. Went on in and he actually got pummeled, literally just flattened.
Big hit there from the Australian forwards. This Renegade side flown quite a long distance to be here at the Safaricom Sevens, the 18th edition. Very cloudy, chilly morning. The fans are slowly streaming in. And the Western Bulls actually have managed to retrieve the ball, and they've kicked it therefore into the infield area. And Bill Mix again, showing his strength and size there to fend off Western Bulls. And it's going to be a free kick to the Australian to Western Bulls. Bill Mix not releasing the ball there, penalized by the referee.
Reynard Asher quickly starts the ball. Western Bulls will slowly build up. The nice step there by Albino Duaco, takes the ball down. Collins Kimani quick to get the ball out, spreads it out, looking for runners. They seem not to actually get any diagonal runs. They're just running straight, and they seem to be getting gaps while they're moving on through. Ball picked up again there by Solomon Obiero. Oh, and a nice shimmy. And the Renegades actually meant to try for that. That was a very, very awkward and bogus defending that Brian Oduako exposes the Australian Renegades defense, and advantage. Western Bulls, try time.
Yeah, Newton Ongalo there in the technical area looking excited, very, very happy. What an excellent piece of skill there from Western Bulls. Took it on his own, beat 4 of them, and a center post try there. And Western Bulls off to a flying start against the Australian Renegades. Some excellent skill there. Good handoff, and he smelled the trail and he galloped there all the way. And a very good start for Western Bulls, with already one Kenyan team in the semi-finals.
Brian Oduako, very impressive in yesterday's matches, scored a ton of tries and picking up from where he left off.
Absolutely, he was immense in the games yesterday, particularly the game against Botswana. Ran rings around them. and continuing where he left off from last night. And it's the Western Bulls to kick it off.
Solomon Obiero with a very high-weighted kick. Western Bulls retrieve the ball back, but smash it back into the hands of Australia. James Turner accepting that challenge and picking up quickly. And all of a sudden, Western Bulls on their back foot. Very, very weak attempt at a tackle there. Very woeful attempt. James Turner picked up the ball from the start, manages to shrug it right across. I think that was hit back by the Western Bulls player, and the referee will call it back for a scrum.
But Western Bulls really have to improve their tackling, because they can't be going high. They need to be going low. High tackles are not what you want from your players at these tight games. You need to make and complete your tackles. And the Western Bulls are not doing that in this last passage of play.
Lionel Kinanyi there on the insert on the photo. Definitely trying to see if he can read the minds of the Australian players, who look like they'd like to get something within the next couple of seconds from this scrum.
Yeah, the Renegades in a very strong position, an attacking scrum here. 4 minutes gone. We've got 3 more minutes to go in this game, in the first half of the third quarter final. And the referee is reading out the riot act to the Australian scrummagers.
Taking their sweet time before they set the scrum. I think we are ready to roll. Or are we not? See a couple of legs up in the air, anticipating the ball rolling in, and James Turner seems to have popped up with the ball. I wonder how he did that, because he was in the scrum. Referee calls for a knock-on, and I think we'll go back to the 5-meter line for a Western Bulls scrum put-in.
Yes, the Bulls have barely survived there. They need to get out of the in-goal area right now, the try box. I can see Rodney Iona there speaking to the referee. He seems not happy with something. The referee is explaining to him. That's the beauty of rugby, unlike football, whereby the referees are gods. Here in rugby, the referee can explain a situation and he can listen to you if you're the captain and explain his point. And he has done that to Rodney Iona of the Australian Renegade team. This Australian team looking like the Wallabies, if you may ask me, in gold.
Collins Kimani with the scrum put in for the Western Bulls in there. They need to be very, very clear on what they'll do with the ball, because any mistake would actually result into a try. Didn't look straight, but the referee lets it go. Collins Kimani picks the ball and decides to punt it further downfield. There was no one down home. The Australian Renegades are actually chasing back down. Oh, and Collins Kimani. Oh, the kick. The kick works for Collins Kimani, and that looks like it was an intentional knock. And they spread the ball out wide. Bramwell Shikanda spreading the ball out. Checks in, checks out, and try time by Renhard Ashioya. Renhard Ashioya looked like he was standing in acres of space. No one actually noticed him.
Brilliant try there, and it all started with a kick from Collins Kimani. Just after it didn't go out. The ball retention was excellent there, and from there the hands just did its job. And what an excellent piece of skill there. Bramwell Shikanda rounding off his opposite man, and the Western Bulls have gone second try up, and the conversion coming right now.
I beg your pardon. I think the player who actually scored there was actually Raymond Ashioya.
Raymond Ashioya. My apologies for that. And it's 12-0. 12-0 to Western Bulls. And a very strong position right now against the Australian Renegades. Western Bulls now leading by 12 points to nil. Oh, 14 points to nil, sorry. 14 points to nil. The third quarter final, the Safaricom Sevens.
Obiero kick of Western Bulls. Oh, and that did not look good. That did not look good. Oh boy. He seems to be taking it quite well in stride. Perhaps may have saved him from a yellow card. But the referee goes back in for the penalty, because that was actually an infringement against James Turner up in the air.
No, I think it was a fair contact, but I think the tackle was not. Yeah. I think he was challenging for the ball, which was fair, but I just think he brought him down while it's in the air. So the referee has given the advantage to the Renegades. The Renegades need to make something out of this attack here. They are trailing by 40 points to nil. They need to get a score on the board before we go into halftime.
Nice shimmy run in there. And the Renegades on the rampage. Playing like the real Renegades that they are actually called. Oh, and they let him lose on that, but the referee believed that was not done fairly. Side entry to the rack. Advantage to the Australian Renegades, who decide to go for the line out. Oh no, they actually scratch the ball and proceed on. Nicely given by Dylan Simpson. James Turner, who's basically been the kingpin for these Australian Renegades outfit, has basically been everywhere in this first half.
Yeah, he's been, having gone through a mountain of work, but right there, Rodney Iona feeding off there to Bill Mix, and Bill Mix will touch down. Critical score for the Australian Renegades. They needed that score as we approach the half-time mark of this game. It's Australia Renegades with a try. And now for the conversion to come. They reduce the margin there to 14-5. Iona with a good run and a good diagonal run and a good supporting line, good running line there from Bill Mix to touch down here. And it's going to be 14-5 as we wait for the conversion. It's half-time. The players are busy going to their technical benches and coaches to hear what they have to say. But Iona with the conversion. No, he's missed it. So it's 14 points to 5 to Western Bulls at half-time in the third quarter-final.
Former Kenya International Sevens captain Newton Angalo with the Western Bulls team for this weekend. Quite a great player back in his days.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. He was a very good swimmer, very nippy player. Showed his prowess in the early years. Was part of the Kenya team that went to the Commonwealth Games in Manchester in 2002. And part of the team that played with Oscar Hussein, Benjamin Aimba in the early part of this decade.
Kickoffs bana. Tumeongea nani anaendea ball? No, when you're really, especially your nini, lazima tuongee. Yeah? And then falling back in numbers. What we're doing, tuende huko in numbers tunarudi in numbers. Tukue and then ikiendelea ikirudi tusipani. Tunataka wafanye nini? Ball iende nje. So kama hiyo try, ball iende mbio sana. Ndio hold.
Of course, Newton Angalo's younger brother plays for the Western Bulls. Collins and Negule Kimani is definitely Newton Angalo's younger brother, jersey number 20. Has flashes of brilliance, just like his brother. I guess it runs in the family.
Yeah, it seems to does run in the family there. And Newton saying there at the halftime that they need to be very careful about their kickoffs. They need to worry on that. They need to improve on the kickoffs and retrieve possession and do something with it. The Australians seem to be stealing all those kickoffs, and Western Bulls have a lot of. This game is on a knife edge right now with that score, and at 14-5, anything can happen. It's a game of sevens, whereby upsets tend to happen, and at 14-5, it's anybody's game.
Very telling score right at the end of the first half by Bill Mix. Will it actually count for the Australia Renegades? 7 minutes set up to decide that. Off to kick us off for the second half is Obiero with a high-weighted ball, and Australia look to have knocked that forward. No referee doesn't seem to think so, and plays an advantage. Bill Mix scored the try in the first half, spreading the ball back to Iona. Next game we have. They seem to have numbers out over there, and all of a sudden Iona seems to have actually outpaced Collins Kimani, and the Renegades start off where they finish in the first half.
Absolutely, very good try there from Rodney Iona, the captain of the Australian Renegades, pulled away, and it's all started from the kickoff, where we were thinking there was going to be a call for a knock-on, but Bill Mix off to a flyer there. Well, this is the first half action by this was the first try he scored, but he played a critical role in this second try. And the Australians are back in the game with the conversion to come, and Western Bulls not the start they wanted in the second half.
Iona try scorer trying to add another 2 points onto the try scored, and he makes it.
14-12 now, 14 points to 12. And that should be a wake-up call to the Western Bulls. It's a wake-up call to the Western Bulls.
Very colorful crowd slowly streaming into the Moi International Sports Centre in Kasarani.
You can see some players on the Western Bulls side chewing their nails. It's going to be that tense.
Very nail-biting.
Very nail-biting here. And Iona is going to kick now to the Western Bulls now.
Rodney Iona with a deep weighted kick. Decides to go short. They win the ball back. Bill Meeks retrieves the ball. Spreads it out to Iona, playmaker. Shuttles the ball to Dylan Simpson. Quick switch down over there with Meilani Tiatia. And they lose the ball. They just basically left the ball out in there, and Reynard Ashua did not need a second invitation, second bite at the cherry, and we have seen this fellow moving in all the, and every time he actually goes on in, it actually works. Reynard Ashua. Ashua with the ball again, decides to dummy, gets isolated, pops the ball out, manages to somehow get the ball out. So free for all in there. So Bulls need to actually ensure they can get quicker rucks out to try and use their speed out in the open.
They need quick ball from the line. I mean, they need quick ball from the ruck. The moment they delay there, the Australian defense will realign the defense, and the Bulls are responding in similar fashion here.
Strong running of there. Brian Oduako with the first try, trying to scrap himself in there. Got it through the gate. Collins Kimani retrieves the ball. Collins Kimani gets looks fair.
High tackle there for me.
It looks fair.
I think it's fair. And the Australian Renegades being penalized there. Looks smart not releasing a tackler at the contact point. And it's been stolen, but what does the referee give there?
Didn't seem to think they had moved 10 yards back. So it's to consult with the able linesman, or fourth official as they call them nowadays.
Yes.
Names keep on changing. Linesman, judge, assistant referee.
Yeah, and they're consulting, and it's something whereby he has seen, and he's either going to penalize. I think it's for the high tackle there. It is for the high tackle.
He's trying to calm the tempers in there, pointing at his armpit, saying it wasn't really a neck, it was an armpit tackle. How about that? Or do you think he's offering some deodorant?
It's a Western Bulls ball. They are 5 minutes away from the Renegades try line. What can they do? They need to make this count with a game at 14 points to 12. The Bulls leading.
Collins and Degule to scratch up the ball. Western Bulls looking patient, looking confident, trying to study, looking for a gap. Isolated tackle, and it looks like they've lost the ball. Interesting call there from the referee.
I thought he was isolated. What can the Bulls do? They need to make this count, but I think it's been turned over. No, it's the Western Bulls. Collins Kimani.
Referee still playing advantage for the Western Bulls.
And once again, the Australian Renegades being penalized for not rolling away.
Quick tap of the ball down. Try time. Reinhard Ashioya scores the second try of the game. Referee seems to be having some issues with the Australian Renegades players, who don't seem quite happy about something there in the build-up to the try.
Yeah, they seem not to be happy with his calls, I think. I think his calls, and it's a yellow card. It's a yellow card for the Australian Renegades. I think too much of the back chat and the frustration now boiling over to the Australian Renegades. And they're having a player sin bin. We'll tell you which player has been sin bin for the Australians, for the Australian Renegade side.
I think he was a bit concerned that there was a penalty against the isolated player who did not release the ball.
Yeah, I think that was a very fair call. I think and it's Luke Smart.
I think he got the card for something he said after the try was scored. I think he must have said something that was not too pleasing to the referee.
So Western Bulls now leading by 19 points to 12. But the game is still on a knife edge, and here comes Iona, the playmaker, and he's off. But he needs support from his team there.
Referee playing advantage.
Bill Mix thundering there, showing his aggression at the rack and stealing the ball there. And it's going to be a half penalty here. It's going to be a free kick for the Australian Renegades.
Full penalty, actually.
Yeah, full penalty.
Dylan Simpson trying to look for the crevice in the defense. Long strides of Bill Mix, and Bill Mix scores his second try of the game.
Bill Mix with the second try. And it's now going to be, 19-17. 19-17. This game is on a knife edge. I think this is going to be one of the closest quarterfinal matches we've had so far in the tournament. Renegades haven't given up hope, despite being a man down. They're playing with 6 men, with Luke Smart being in the sin bin for descent. And it's the Renegades who kick off. And it's going to be a line out for the Western Bulls. The game is on a knife edge. It's 19 points to 17.
The line-out was already formed. They can't take a quick one.
They can't take a quick one, yeah. Just wondering.
A bit of enthusiasm showing right there.
It's 21-19. I beg your pardon, 21-19. Western Bulls leading, but we're actually in the final minutes of this game, the last passage of play.
Western Bulls need to just retain possession and grind down, because the Australian Renegades look like they might actually be having their tails up in the air, and any mistake might be punished. Oh, and he fits the ball straight into the other Luke Smart, who doesn't need a second chance to be invited, and he scores.
Oh, that was a mistake, a howler there from the Western Bulls. I don't know what he was thinking. He's just fed him there from the line out.
Looks as though the 2 minutes in the sin bin helped Luke Smart get his composure, his concentration, and came back in and scored the winning try to the
What
pier.
on earth were the Western Bulls players thinking? Colin Skimani.
And the ball was out.
Should have gone even for a longer line out.
Luke Smart looked to have actually been short of the 5 meters.
Oh,
Very telling there, very telling
my.
there.
Western Bulls, for me, have literally thrown this game away. They just need to maintain possession, and I'm thinking probably they should have gone for a longer line out.
Dylan Simpson misses the conversion, and the final whistle goes. Western Bulls have themselves to blame.
Have themselves to blame because they were leading with 2 points. They just need to maintain possession, and the Renegades have won here by 24 points to 21, and they march on to the semi-finals, while the Western Bulls now go to the plate competition.